Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor. Y'all, check it out, y'all.
Here's a bonus. You heard it before.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Serving that heat. Now turn it up. GCOM Radio.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I cherish the moment. Verily, verily, bury me with reefer and roses. Yo, the 20s, this air is golden. Compare me to Noah, my chair in midair. Homes you barely quoted. That's apparently noted. Yo, I'm O'Shea made with boiled water. In other words, clearly I'm frozen. I pushed the limits. I was in the penalty box, it took a minute. My destiny's recipe cooked the spinach. Yo, I'm true to myself, hell. Ain't no toddlers in the backseat. When I say it's two in the belt, chill still. I'm getting DMs from Stephanie Mills. Janet Jackson snapped me, no cap, G, it's that deep. I'm tax free, addressing my soldiers like Addies. I'm flaxseed, the newest branch on the rap tree. Don't ask me, I'm less involved. You make the list, I'ma check it off. String around the pole, it ain't tetherball. Damn, I ain't stunting, y'all. Come on, fam. Shit crazy. Fuck out of here, nigga. Yeah, P. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Shit.
Immobilize.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
Hey yo, the guy West craving the mic. Right. Jay is nice. I'm in the space like I'm in the best shape of my life. I play with white. Associate the weight with the price. I walk in a hostile situation, breaking the ice. I peep. We 330 degrees deep, seeking beef that we don't like. I'm Chief Keef with the street sweep. Up all night. Who needs sleep when life's like a dream? Night Supreme got dime freaks in the Jeep. Beat. Me and the Don gifted. LeBron spirit in this game, man. I'm more of a Mac than John Mickens. Stop tripping. Got the pot bubbling, hot grits, but it's not for biscuits. It's niggas on the block that got shifts, clocks ticking. Yo, let the homies through. We in the VIP, the chosen few, but you ain't even sociable. You lost points choosing the phony crew. Use a disposable, can't blame nobody else. The proof is only you.
Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known.
Come on, man. You know why niggas don't fuck with you, my nigga? Don't look in the mirror and stare at yourself, man. I better tear slowly form. We don't coming down your bitch ass cheek, nigga. Word to Max, we the waviest. What that blunt at?
Yo, what is the deal, y'all? This is Nova Phoenix, and I am your host on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. And you just heard another joint by Left Lane D-Don coming back with Stephanie Mills. Where is this dude? I got to reach out to him for some new music. I'm feeling this joint. I'm feeling this whole style, especially the song that he did with Benny the Butcher. I forgot the name of it. But those cats remind me of, you know, hip hop, how it was that vibe, that energy that was happening back in the day. And I love that sound. I love the sound. It's raw, it's uncut, and they're just being honest with it. So shout out Left Lane D-Don and his whole crew. So what is going on, y'all, with your week? A lot has been going on. I got a lot to talk about. A lot has been going on. And yeah, you know what? I try to get to things. I'm not really a person that just jumps on it like as soon as it happens. All of a sudden, I got to do a Facebook Live or or a YouTube or Twitter live. That's not what I do. I just don't have time for things like that. So when things do sound dated, because the news could come out on Monday and the show, or Wednesday, and the show doesn't happen until the following week, Wednesday. So when I get to it, I try to approach it from another angle, at least to try to make it as fresh as possible, even with the topic being old, because, you know, in the 21st century news cycle, man, anything that's 3 or 4 days old, it's like almost 6 months old. And it's like, man, we on to something else like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? But I try to at least have my say in the matter on whatever happens. And if I can't say it in a tweet, or an IG post, then I'll leave the conversation for later for this podcast. So let's get into it. The Iowa caucus, it was a bunch of hoo-ha, jibbly-joo, blibbity-bobbity-boof. You know, it's all stupidness. There was some things going on with Buttigieg and, you know, in the Iowa caucus, and them trying to figure out what was going on between Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders, and, you know, who was taking the lead. And there was just a whole bunch of archaic process of how they were getting the votes, and it was this app that it was a bunch of nonsense. I don't know all the details to it because I was in and out, because I'm so not emotionally invested in the process, and I should, and I do talk about it to be involved, but you know what, I'm gonna say it real. After all these years, I'm still not fully detailed on the caucus, because when I heard about it, and then I had family members contacting me about, oh, did you hear what's going on in Iowa caucus? Let me see what this is about. And I was in and out on the news, and you guys already know how I feel about the whole political process with this voting thing, how it can be rigged in a lot of different ways, and there's a lot of different tactics that they use to undermine the opposite side's votes and their numbers. I'm not saying be off. If there's something that is illegal that's happening, you want to be as invested in it as possible, or be involved with it as much as possible, so you can keep the BS from happening. So I get that. I get that wholeheartely. I'm with you guys. I just feel that I'm going to use my vote when it's time to, when it's most effective. And if there's anything that I can say, I will talk about it. So maybe I'm kind of undermining the BS that's happening with this caucus. But I think also my other feeling is sometimes this voting process can be dated, and there's certain things that should be involved. And I will come with a more detailed understanding. Probably it'll be a topic for next week's show on the voting process and how we could streamline it. But if it's something to me that's just, it's a waste of time in the process and it's inefficient, I automatically think cut it out. So with this whole Iowa caucus thing, and I'm like, whatever, and I read up on it, so it's a travesty. But I will go into it further for next week's show as a topic, as far as the voting rights process, what the caucus is, you know, all those things. I'm a registered independent. Like I said, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, so I can't vote in the primary. I can only vote in the actual, presidential race. That's just what it is. I think it's nonsense, but what are you gonna do? All right, so the next thing is the State of Union address that was put up by Trump. Stupid. I think it was just a whole massive troll on the Democrats and everyone that was watching this thing. And I did not watch it because I know it's just going to be a bunch of BS. It's just going to be a lot of chest thumping from this game show host. So I wasn't in it, but I did hear the news and, the whole thing with Pelosi ripping his speech and whatever. It's a waste of time for me. And the other thing is, and especially with the Rush Limbaugh, him getting the Medal of Freedom. I'm like, Rush Limbaugh, and that's why I didn't watch it. I'm like, Rush Limbaugh, this dude is a hack. This dude, at worst, to me, he's just his purpose is to divide people, and his purpose is to keep a certain section of Americans focused on half-ass, half-witted thoughts and ideas. That's his, at worst, that's his purpose. See, I don't see him as, oh, I'm a journalist, I'm saying my opinion. Because when you listen to Rush Limbaugh, it's like, huh? Did you do any fact-checking on this? So sometimes I feel I'm never going to undermine the intelligence of the people on the other side of the camera. I know they're aware of the stuff that they're saying is asinine and ridiculous. So when they do say it, it's almost like being a shock jock and saying things just to get people hyped up. And some old man is sitting in his chair, I don't know, doing whatever in his house, listening to Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, that's right. And all he is reinforcing an idiotic mentality that is pervasive in this country. At best, he's just, again, a journalist that they employed that's saying things that he wholeheartedly believes in whatever shape or form he believes it. Whatever. So that was a joke to me. And lastly, Janelle Monáe, she got mercury poisoning. Asked her, she's a pescatarian. That's terrible. It leads into a bigger conversation about as healthy as you could try to be in this country, as healthy as you can try to be, you can't be. The only way that you can eat the best type of food is if you have your own farm. You get fish that definitely that you fished yourself and it's not mercury tainted or farm raised or anything. You got to question every package that has the word natural on it. Anything, even the organic food, because you don't know who's trying to trick you, especially with this Beyond Burger that was making its wave, and the Wonder Burger, whatever like that, where it's non-meat, and all the fast food restaurants are trying to make a swift change to provide that as an option. I've had it. It tastes pretty good, but is it like the greatest as far as for me as to consume this food? Who knows? I don't know. But you gotta triple check. You gotta triple check the food that we eat, even if it has the word natural or organic. The word organic, printed on the plastic packaging. So sorry for Janelle Monáe. All right, so we're gonna get into the first segment of the show. So bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Because actually I was supposed to have a guest on the show. And you guys know I try to have people on the show. But, sometimes I just rather focus on just me just talking about different topics for the show and dealing with music and all these other things, all the other parts of the segments. But this, I was trying to get one. It didn't work out. It is what it is. But nonetheless, I'm going to go forward and express my thoughts. Everybody knows what's going on with this Gayle King thing when she interviewed Lisa Leslie and she was talking about Kobe Bryant and him getting into the crash with his daughter and the other people, and she proceeded to ask her questions that I felt that was inappropriate, was kind of in some ways conniving and planned. And she said after this backlash, everybody knows the backlash, she kind of responds on her social media handle or wherever I don't know if it was Twitter or IG, and she was blaming the CBS. And I don't think that you could blame CBS. I think those are very, it's not like you just, I don't understand what she was talking about, saying that, they just picked this section of the question and that was the first thing that they put out. Who cares what order these questions were in? The fact is the question was asked. So for her reason to say she was angry that the network kind of manipulated that interview, I'm like, how? I mean, you asked the question. So anyway, this is how I feel, and I'll do it as in short as possible and as clear as in concise. I thought that Gayle's questioning of Lisa Leslie about Kobe's character was questionable and in terms of her tone and in pressing the issue with Lisa Leslie. When Lisa Leslie was like, oh, Kobe is not like that. That's my friend. I have other friends as NBA players. We're at the party and they say, go get that girl. That was never Kobe. And then Gayle responded by saying, well, that's your friend. How would you know? Like, again, questioning her stance about how she feels about the character of Kobe. And I found that extremely disturbing for me. I didn't like her tone. I didn't like the way she was putting Kobe's character on a public trial. You know what I mean? Her tone was totally different when she was talking about Senator Al Franken when he had his situation when she was talking to Dr. Phil. And I'm like, she was not talking about Senator Al Franken. She was talking about, he put his hands on her breast and he got caught by a picture and he was just being like a funny, like totally downplaying and making it seem like, oh, well, it was no big of a deal. It was nothing, Al Franken, we got to revisit this and talk about this before we, harshly treat former Senator Al Franken. So she was giving him the benefit of the doubt. She was giving him the benefit of the doubt. However, she was not doing that with Kobe when she was asking those questions to Lisa Leslie. I don't know. I don't even understand why she brought up the question to Lisa Leslie, because I'm sure Kobe was alive for years after this situation. At any time she could have asked Kobe this. At any one of those important moments that he had, they said that she's met him several times over the years and spoke to him. How come she didn't say, hey, let's do an interview and ask him the question then? To ask the man when he's dead, a man that cannot defend himself, I think is terrible. And I think it was opportunistic. That's my other feeling about the situation. All right. What else had I felt about that Kobe deal? And my thing is, after the backlash that came from the interview and she expressed herself and everybody was coming out, 50 Cent, Lil Boozy, of course the Snoop, because Snoop is like kind of the face of the backlash because he said some pretty like spicy things to Gayle. All right. Do I believe in everything that Snoop said? No. Or do I back every word that he said? No, I wouldn't. If I was doing it myself and I was well known as Snoop, I would have never posed it that way. But I understand his frustration and I understand his anger. I knew where he was coming from because of all these things that are happening with black men, as far as these documentaries are being made about them of being sexual predators, and and some of them are well overdue. I'm not defending Cosby and I'm not defending R. Kelly. I'm not defending either one of those. I would throw those dudes to the rabbit wolves. I don't care. I've been said that about R. Kelly when it came out and he was going on trial. I remember sitting in my car listening to Funk Master Flex, and Funk Master Flex was saying, what? Well, I think it was a part when R. Kelly was like, oh, that's not me, that's my brother. And Funk Master Flex was like, nah, he done. He's over. Now, that was a statement on canceling R. Kelly even before cancel culture was taking form. This was years back then. And I was sitting in my car and I was clapping and I was going right with Funk. Nah, that dude's over. So I already know how I feel about about R. Kelly. I already know how I feel about this other dude. See, here I go again. Bill Cosby. That's done. The cases is over. But then at the same time, we have these documentaries that are coming out. They're on Bill Cosby, okay, done. R. Kelly, okay, done. Now we get into Russell Simmons, okay. And then before it was MJ, Michael Jackson. Even when the witnesses of these kids or these men at the time when they were children, their or statements were being refuted and they were questioned and there were holes that was punched into them, and then they dropped the case because of that, and they dropped it against MJ. And all of a sudden now they coming out with this documentary. I'm like, wait a second, I thought these dudes came forward and said it wasn't true in their statement. Now they're saying it is. So I felt that whole MJ documentary was questionable. All right, so you have MJ, or as I said, Bill, okay, R. Kelly, okay, Russell Simmons. Okay, who's next? Because I see a pattern developing here. I see a pattern. Now, I said it in the last show. I did talk about it in the last show. I'm saying, wait, let's be fair here. There's a bunch of white dudes that's even done even more crazy shit. More crazy shit. All right, there's a whole list of them, and I don't see no documentaries. I don't see nobody talking about them. I mentioned Kevin Spacey, Bryan Singer, Bill O'Reilly, Les Moonves, the former CEO of CBS, Charlie Rose, Jeffrey Epstein, well, he dead, Roman Polanski, Charlie Sheen. Yo, Charlie Sheen admitted to having sex with women without telling them he had AIDS. Charlie Sheen said it on several publications. Publications have repeated his statement. He had sex with women and he didn't tell them he had AIDS. You know why he didn't tell them he had AIDS? Because he felt that they were going to use it against him. They were going to try to get money out of him. And in the whole media, everyone was like, oh, that sounds like a reasonable, yeah, sure, okay. That sounds totally logical. But they ain't doing no documentary on this dude, Martin Sheen. They're not. They just swept it under the rug and kept it pushing. Okay? These other, I'm like, wait a second. Are we really gonna do this? Are we really? I can't understand how people don't see this. All right, the whole thing with Snoop was, I understand, as I said before, I don't agree with every word that he said, but I get where he was coming from, that source of that frustration. Okay? I get where he was coming from. But that was a frustration of black men having to deal with, or even black women. They're not even excluded out of this. The struggles of what black Americans go through in this country. When it comes to the prison industrial complex, police brutality, wage gap issues, financial access to business, and to just social class in general. Stories of young adults dealing with schools wanting to cut their hair because they look inappropriate for their graduation or for their wrestling match. And it's not just for working class people, this struggle. Even the financially privileged go through this situation. Trying to make a step from or progress up the ladder, the social ladder. They go through the walls of racism and bias and ignorant shit themselves. So they are frustrated like cats like Snoop. So when you have someone like Gayle asking questions about something that is so sensitive, that shocked the world, not just the black community, but the world. And you have Gayle, that's a black woman that came in to ask Lisa Leslie these questions, questioning, putting Kobe's character on display, questioning his character. Of course, someone like Snoop was pissed off. He's like, wait a second. What are you doing? You were part of the family. You are one of us. It's not a question of her asking, her being a journalist, asking Lisa Leslie about that situation. It's how she said it and the way she was drilling Lisa. It had us questioning, well, wait a second. And that's how Snoop tripped out. And all the rest, wait a second. And all these things. As I said with these men that did the same thing, I don't see, everybody's talking about, oh, this one person that said, oh, well, I don't know, on my FB feed, was like, I don't know why you guys are talking. And this is the so-called woke women, the woke women at saying this. This one in particular. Well, I don't know why he's saying that. There's 3 documentaries on Harvey Weinstein and he's going through court, but it's not the same thing. With the brothers, it's like people are getting the loudspeaker, putting them out on the street on a bullhorn, talking about MJ, whether it's right or not. The fact is, it's being repeated and said loudly. It's damn near in theaters in bold letters as part of the marquee. It's on neon signs on the side of blimps. They replay these trailers saying, coming soon, coming soon. Yeah, I heard about the Weinstein documentary, but I didn't hear, I don't see no clip. I don't see no teaser trailer. I don't see no exclusive interview with the director of any one of these 3 documentaries, supposedly. I don't see not a snippet. I don't see anything on YouTube. I don't see any news, and I read the news. I'm on the news every day. I do not hear a peep, but I damn sure knew when that MJ joint was coming out. I damn sure knew when that R. Kelly joint was coming out. I damn sure knew when the Russell Simmons joint is coming out. I damn sure I'm going to know about every other one that has a black dude in it. Now, I'm not saying, again, I have to repeat this because you know how people are. They'll gaslight me and change my words around. I'm not talking about R. Kelly. I'm not talking about Bill Cosby. Those dudes deserved what they get. But what I see is a developing pattern here. When you repeat something consistently, even if it's true or not, it will start to sink into the psyche of the American public. And when you have black men that are on display here, they're going to automatically associate sexual perversion with a black face. And I can't see how people don't put that two and two together. I can't see it. And these are coming from the woke women. It's not about, are we dealing with misogyny in this country? Yes, we are. Are we dealing with sexism in this country? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I'm a part of that because I am a male born in this country. Well, there's some things that you can put on the chopping block or dissect what Snoop said that could be rooted in misogyny. Yes, you can. But misogyny is not the question here. We're talking about the obvious display. We're talking about the obvious, I'm trying to get my words together for folks. We're talking about the obvious display, an imbalance of, when we're talking about sexual perversion or sexual aggression, the imbalance that's happening on the media when it comes to black men and then white men. Because I don't see no counter. If there was one documentary that was blown up on any one of those names I said, these white dudes that I mentioned, then a lot of people would be like, yeah, okay, they did it. But there's none. There's absolutely none to the degree of any one of these other documentaries that's happening. That is the question. That's what we're talking about. I'm not talking, okay, enough of those tears. I saw Oprah going on the show. I forgot she was talking on Jenna Bush or somebody else. Oh, how's Gayle? Oh, all right, enough with the tears, all right? Oprah is a professional woman. She's a journalist. Nothing gonna happen to Gayle, all right? Ain't nothing gonna happen to Snoop. And the Susan Rice thing or her throwing in the 2 cents, I thought that was fuel on the fire that does not help the conversation. But Oprah crying and saying, oh my God, death. All right, it's terrible. There are people like that. People are going to troll. And that's why, as a celebrity, you do have to be careful of what you say, because sometimes you have those lone nuts that want to be like, yeah, I agree. And all of a sudden they take it there. All right. And all of a sudden, so I do agree in that we have to be responsible in our words, especially as celebrities. But Gayle gonna be okay. Okay. Gayle gonna be all right. Ain't nobody, and it's the same thing by Dyson. All right, that brother got on his IG and was talking, and I appreciate his words. His words is dope. But then at one point that he said, where he's like, well, we don't know what Snoop and his connections, the gang, we don't know what's gonna happen. Look, it don't work like that, man. Snoop ain't gonna snap his fingers and speak to one of his cats in LA, and all of a sudden they're gonna roll up on Gayle to do a drive-by while she's shopping at Whole Foods. It's not gonna happen. All right. And even Snoop said that in his response. That ain't gonna happen. He was just angry. He was just, he's frustrated that this is so obvious, and they see it, and Boozy see it, 50 Cent see it, all these cats are seeing it, and even women are saying it as well, joining in the conversation. Whoa, wait a second, Gayle. Wait a second, y'all. We see this happen. So where do we go from here? Okay, understanding this is getting all crazy, and the Susan Rice wants to throw in their 2 cents. okay, where do we go from here? I think it would be dope if Snoop Dogg and Gayle came together and did, I don't know, a red table talk. All right, sit down together and hash out how they feel of what is happening, and not get into misogyny. I'm not saying that can't be a subject to talk about. I'm not saying that, but the main thing that what we're talking about here is the imbalance to how black men is viewed in mass media when it comes to sexual aggressions or sexual violence, and how other white men it's being swept under the rug when they're doing the exact same thing. Let's talk about that. But I know that's how the conversation would go. So I hope someone, if this happens together, Snoop can have his team to pose certain questions, not him being on the receiving end of Gayle asking questions, but also him asking questions to Gayle and putting her on the spot, under the spotlight. We can do this. So I don't want it to get into this volley of hate and people throwing darts and people are angry and aggressive, and we miss the entire point of why this is happening. We're talking about pain. We're talking about inadequacies. Excuse me. We're talking about pain. We're talking about the struggle of what it is to be black in this country. We're talking about the unfairness that happens to black folk in this country. Let's not be foolish. That is what we're talking about. And then the subtext or a subtopic can be misogyny, and we could do all that. But the main thing here is, why did this begin in the first place? That's what we got to do. And I think it would be fantastic to talk about that, to put it aside. Let's let calm heads come into this circle. Let's regain our composure, and let's talk as a family, one-on-one. Okay, so when you throw it around in social media, you're gonna have trolls that's gonna muck up the message, and they're just trolling for trolling's sake. And then all of a sudden we're talking about something totally different, and we missed the point. There should be a one-on-one, not on CBS, not on the major news networks. It should be Snoop Dogg, whoever in the conversation, Gayle, Oprah, and have, like I said, do it totally independent. Outside of that, on YouTube, post it on YouTube, post it on the platform, and have a real discussion of what's happening. Can't have it on CBS because they're going to try to vet the questions. You got to be totally independent. So, it's unfortunate. And I think it's a necessary thing. As sloppy as it did get on TV and on social media, I think we can salvage this, and we can talk about some real issues here. All right. I think I've spoken enough about it. I don't even think I got into that. I don't even think I really got into everything I wanted to say. But, yeah. All right. So let's get into the first song. What is the first song, y'all? The music here. Let's go into Victory Jones. Beautiful singer, beautiful woman. I love everything about her. I was following her for a while on IG, and it turns out that she sings, and she promoted a song. I saw it, and I thought it would be lovely to play this song on the show. So listen to White Walls, her first single that she's promoting. It's a beautiful song. Big ups to the sister. So let's check her out.
You can put the picture there, hang the mirror on the wall by the bedroom stairs, with a big box of dreams in the corner. We could put our records here, plant the flag of fruit to bear and let it flower. that you get, it's how you're gonna keep it now. And the day you forgive it is the day that you forget. No, this place will change you, turn and rearrange you. But these white walls stay forever.
Ooh, a GCOM exclusive.
So much hope for love. Now the mirror on the wall hides the best of us. I don't even recognize my face. How did we get so stuck? Finding it so hard to breathe. I just can't give up. They say the way that you're going is the way that you go out. And the way that you got it's how you're gonna keep it now. And the day you forgive it is the day that you forget. No, this place will change you, turn and rearrange you. Yeah, these white walls stay forever. Covered up in battle scars, with a fresh new coat of paint, like it was never us. Blank canvas, looking for a shooting star. Now it's someone else's turn to try and sketch this sky, make this real life art. Yeah, the way that I came in is the way that I'll go out. And I know you don't get it, but I cannot keep it now. And I tried to forgive it till the day that I forget. I knew this place would change me, break and rearrange me. Just know these white walls stay forever.
Sounding off around the world. You are listening to GCOM Radio.
Okay, that was Victory Jones with White Walls. Lovely song, lovely lady, and I can't wait to hear more. That was an extra long first segment on the show. I just wanted to get that off my chest. You can't really do that on the tweet or on IG. And I feel like I still feel that I haven't given enough detail of my thoughts on the matter. And hopefully when this gets out there into the universe that people don't try to dissect it and, think, oh my God, he's an agent of the misogynist society we live in. I hope not. I hope it becomes very clear and to everyone. And I know there's a lot of women out there that do support the fact that Gayle was inappropriate for asking those questions, and they see the issues themselves. So shout out to all those sisters that do share my thoughts, and a lot of brothers that are having an issue with what's going on with all these docs that are coming out. If I have any other thoughts, maybe if it comes to mind, I'll say it later in the show. But yeah, before we get into the next segment, we got to do business of the week. Let's check this one.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, without
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders. It's what you've been waiting for.
Valentine's Day is around the corner, so in preparation for that special day rendezvous, I suggest one great place to get your nails done, ladies. Dara's Boutique. With all types of styles, colors, shapes, and patterns, this is the place to be. Make an appointment and prepare to be pampered. While you wait for your esthetician, a glass of tasty wine will be presented to wet your palate. Located in Long Island, New York, Dara Bell provides a classy, clean space for women to sit back and relax. Along with a milk and honey manicure, you can also have a moisture boost seaweed facial, Brazilian wax, or a relaxing massage to add to the service. It's all about the experience, and Miss Abel wants you thinking about it long after you leave. Now, men are included too. Get your gentleman's mani-pedi to enhance your meticulous debonair look for any occasion. Go to Dara's Boutique. No walk-ins now. Make sure you set the appointment and enjoy the moment. Go to darasboutique.com for more info. Yeah, so we're just gonna get into this segment here, and it's kind of continuing about Lyfeblood.com. And for those that haven't listened to last week's show, we are doing a New York Tech Day. It's pretty much one of the biggest startup expos that happen in New York at the Jacob Javits Center in April. And I was contacted to be a part of it. And who would turn down an opportunity to talk about their business at this event. So I'm looking forward to it. Excuse me, I'm just, I got a lot of phlegm. It's always good to drink water, man. A lot of times people will say, don't drink soda, which is true. Or don't drink a lot of it, drink more juice. I drink a lot of juice, but you got to remember that without water, you can't have juice. So you just got to drink water straight up. We do have to cut down our sugar intake, and water is the best option. Yeah. So Lyfeblood is going to be a part of New York Tech Day, and I have all these plans for it. And the funny thing is, Lyfeblood is not like a typical company. It's not where it's there for-profit reasons, and we're just in it just to grab as much cents and dollars and coins as possible. And all of a sudden, I could be sitting next to Elon Musk or Bill Gates and all the other multi-billion-dollar CEOs and beat my chest on the cover of Forbes. That's not what I want to do. I think it's different from that. I think, as I said before, that our technology, and we've made a lot of advancements, and it's radically changing a lot of different disciplines and industries in America and around the world. And I think that our technology is outpacing our humanity, as I've always said. And here's a prime opportunity to let people know what Lyfeblood is about as a business model, but also more so what Lyfeblood is about as a movement, as an agent of change. And that there are a lot of things that are obvious problems, which is rotting this country from the inside out. And it's also spreading to other countries around the globe. It's an opportunity for us to shift gears here and to do something different. And because of this technology, and it's pushing us toward a society where there will be less work. And of course, there's always going to be new jobs that's going to develop from these technologies. But the work that we understand it today will not be the same 50 years from now. And then we have to start beginning to seek out what it is to be human, what it is that we do with our time, and see where our value lies. Is it in the jobs that we do, in the 8-hour day, in a 40-hour work week? Are our jobs... Do our jobs define us? And partly yet they do, but is it are our jobs the only thing or things that we are? And I don't think we are our jobs. We are much more than that. We don't have to be one thing. We could be many things. We have a lot of different interests. And you come to find out when you hear about Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci, and what they were famous for, and you study these individuals, these men, these inventors, and they were more than what they became famous for. And you find out their other inventions and their other interests and hobbies and where their mind was going at the moment in time. And I'm like, wow, if they just had a little bit more time, what they could revolutionize with their fourth idea or their fifth idea. And a lot of the things that we know of in this society that we live in today, our jobs take up most of our time, and we just don't have enough of it to explore other parts of ourselves. And I think Lyfeblood wants to do that. And in us finding our passion in the Lyfeblood platform and us helping each other by giving just a minimum of $1 per month, we can free up our time to do other things. And that doesn't mean you don't have to work, but at least it gives you the option, because so many times when we do have jobs, we choose our jobs over the other things that take our attention, because our jobs is what pays us money. And we have to pay our bills, we have to pay our rent, we have to pay our cars, we have to pay everything that we need living in a Western society. And I think having Lyfeblood and creating a community where we can focus on our passions and we can live off of them, we don't have to be tethered to our jobs. We can actually, flip off, for lack of a better word, we can flip off our boss and be like, nah, we're not doing that. And we don't have to be prisoners of the work that we do. And we can walk away from it. Especially if you're dealing with a toxic environment, whatever job that you have, whether you're a waiter, you're working in construction, you're working in whatever job that you don't like doing, you're just doing for a buck. That you have the option to just quit and walk away from and be totally fine for 6 months to a year with you working on your passion and figuring yourselves out. And then you're okay, look, I'm ready to go back. Even then, the power dynamic changes from an employer's point of view, because if more people become lifers and become financially independent, the less likely employers will feel like they can be dictators in the spaces that they create, that they force people to do things because they just know that you're going to come back tomorrow because they need work. That will also change the choices that they make on how they treat their employees. And I think what we want to do as Lyfeblood is we want to develop that community, build that out on a county level, a state level, a country level. But we can also now take the money that we have created and start building on things that we know our society needs for the health of our society. And one of the long-term goals that I wanted to do was to actually create life centers as a part of Lyfeblood.com. And life centers will be for job training, mental health clinics, and it's more focused on just having someone to talk to. And that's kind of like the theme now that's happening there. I listen to Breakfast Club a lot, and also a lot of other places is about talking about, okay, how's your mental health? How do you feel? Are you happy? Are you sad? Or what's going on in your life that you feel is not going right? Now, the more serious mental issues, of course, you leave it up to the other institutions, like, talking about like schizophrenia and depression, serious, deep depression, and, going all to those things that your mind is having issues with biochemically. And those are for other institutions. But I'm just talking about speaking with someone, getting certain pressures off your chest, talking to people. Even that is a load off your shoulders. Also having financial ed classes, talking about taxes or stocks or how to deal with your money, where do you put your money, investments, have exercise areas. That also is a big part of the health of an individual. Talking about dieting, what food to eat, different things like that. So we're trying to build a holistic facility, life centers that can be all over in every state, every county, every other country, where we can say, hey man, you're a lifer, yeah, I'm a lifer too, and it's this new movement and new way where we identify ourselves to say, okay, we're stepping into the 21st century, and we're preparing financially for the changes that are happening, but we're also preparing ourselves how we're going to deal with these new changes, and all these things come into play. And I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be displayed at our booth in the background, and having people sign up and to do these things that will start treating people with respect, treating people as humans, and really start to change the way we think, how we're doing things, not just from right where we are in America, but also in China, in Russia, Africa, South America, and really start hammering these things out, because it's just not about finance. And it kind of brings up this thing for me, what Yang was talking about at one of the Democratic, what do you call it? Another one of those televised speeches, getting all the candidates at the podium. And then one thing that kind of disturbed me, and sometimes I like what Yang is talking about. I do like what Yang was talking about with universal basic income. But a lot of other things that he's talking about, especially in that pointed question about racism and race in America and how they're going to deal with it, he kind of like alluded to, okay, if we pay people $1,000 a month, we'll work everything out. And everything is just not about money. It's just not about that. You have to deal with how the human brain has been socialized in the last, say, 100 years. It's a lot longer than that, but say even in the last 100 years. That's why these issues persist. That's why they continue to happen. We have to deal with some part of mental health. Yeah, it's fine. It's like having somebody that's making $35,000 a year, and all of a sudden you throw them into a job that's making $170,000 a year. They're gonna make the same mistakes that they've been making 45, right into when they're making 145, and they're gonna make silly mistakes. All right, you got to prepare people mentally for this new world that we're coming into. Or if we want this new world to happen, you just can't shove money in people's faces and be like, okay, everything's okay. No, it's not that simple. And I think that alone will push him right out his chances of being, personally, I don't think he's going to win. But for me, that kind of like, nah, all right, yeah, UBI is one thing, but it ain't about just shoving money in people's pockets. No, it's not about that. So I'm really looking forward to how Lyfeblood is going to be presented. So even if a lot of people do hear what I'm talking about with Lyfeblood.com, you've been to the website and you say, well, that's kind of like Patreon. And I spoke about the story of as how Lyfeblood came about, and it's at the same time as Patreon. Well, I consider Patreon Nike, and I'm Adidas. I'm just another one, but I'm taking it a step further. This is not just about money. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so we're gonna get into the next song, a couple songs. So we got MacnTaj. This brother is slick. I love this song. He's got a video that's out. If you want to see the video, go to my channel. Stop right where you're at in this podcast. If you're listening to it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, any other one of the streaming platforms, and go to my YouTube channel and you can see the video there. So this brother's song is called Cringe. He did a dope video. He put a lot into it. So big up to that brother. And right behind him is Clutch Royal. He's got this joint called Soul Food Sessions. It's also on his YouTube. You can peep it there. The first short is about, this is the first short or episode of a 6-episode series of freestyles called Soul Food Sessions. So go to his YouTube channel, look under Clutch Royal, or you could go to mine and check this joint out. And I'm looking forward to hearing more. I will definitely play it on the show in the future. So we'll be right back. All right.
black beans. See that shit, we cringe. My BB friends tens. We cannot be friends. We cannot shake hands. Throw that shade like Prince. We cannot be friends. See your shit, we cringe. Pull up, stop black beans. See that shit, we cringe. My BB friends tens. We cannot be friends. We cannot shake hands. Throw that shade like Prince. We cannot be friends. See your shit, we cringe. Damn. Hold up. What? Peep your shit, it was hella cringy. You out of gas, your shit on empty. You picked the first one, no, I'm picky. You on my turf, in my city. Brought your chick and she not pretty. Seen the ass and it's not jiggling. Got a kidney full of Irish whiskey. You get that drunk from your friends, it's Reggie. I get my shit, then that shit is heavy. All of my niggas be hippies. LSD shrooms like it's the 60s. Pulling up in a caravan from Burning Man like a gypsy. Pull the gap from the hip, see? That's why I don't get tipsy. You don't be making no sense. See your shit, we on the fence. Look at it through my lens. I look through the tent in the bins. You say, can we talk? It depends. The chick named Lindsay. We got friendly. She got the tab at the Denny's. Now I'm on the MacnTaj. Pull up, stop black beans. See that shit, we cringe. My BB friends tens. We cannot be friends. We cannot shake hands. Throw that shade like Prince. We cannot be friends. See your shit, we cringe. Pull up, stop black beans. See that shit, we cringe. My BB friends tens. We cannot be friends. We cannot shake hands. Throw that shade like Prince. We cannot be friends. See your shit, we cringe.
Yo, tell me, did you see me? Whip game hard, but the drip was easy. With a bitch from Fiji, eating shrimp linguine at the Ritz in DC. Like down, why you doing MacnTaj? Cats call me, I don't do cat calls. With a new black car, I'm Kanye West, I'm a new black car. Tell me, little baby, why you talking like that? Like you ain't fall for the Mac, like you ain't lost in my trap. Bitch, I'm important when I pull up, got a park in the back. When you pull up, nobody notice you get lost in the back. Like, where you at? Where you at? We don't see you, my nigga. I hear you talking like you next, we don't believe you, my nigga. I heard your shit wasn't impressed, you need a redo, my nigga. You think you moving, but you ain't moving like we do, my nigga. I with Murcii, met her a couple thirsty women, black dick, white bitch. She gon' hurt, she kiss it, she gon' slurp and lick it. I'ma burst up in it, ain't no gas reflex, I'ma learn, yeah, man. You on trap phone, jump for the day begins. Cause I doubt you in the club, don't make us friends. Curse so many hoes, think I scrape my range. Say you a real nigga, don't make me cringe.
Pull up, stop black beans. See that shit, we cringe. My BB friends tens. We cannot be friends. We cannot shake hands. Throw that shade like Prince. We cannot be friends. See your shit, we
Oh man,
check this out.
we're going in with another one.
It's on.
GCOM Radio. You know what? It's ironic how I use this platform, it's all because they wanna praise the status and not the balance, and they hit by slugs. They wanna speak to masses, it's so impactful, but it's missing something. Like I can feel the wind, it's flowing on my skin, but I ain't hearing nothing. Food for thought. How about I make up a dish for the soul? How about I whip up a plate of instructions and hand you some lemons and life gives you bowls? Go through the motions of just trying to make it, but missing the steps that will make you feel whole. How about I give you some game that will cause you to change, and then you'll be set for your goals? Listen. I had differences and I had doubts. I done went through pain without a scream or shout. I done went through breakdowns but never tapped out. Stood up tall with my head held high. Knew my call but wasn't filled with pride. Humble setbacks pushed me aside. Made me stronger with longer strides. Heal with me like tap out, break down, get free. Sounded different when you're locked in chains. Tap in, break through, be free. See the shift when you change in the game. See, this ain't checkers. I want some substance, I need some effort. Maybe life because the game is better. Now I gotta be chess so I apply the pressure. Look, I don't stand here so I can boast. Perceive a lifestyle that's dreamed by most. That life is played out, it's all a joke. Season change and mood swings of life. Missing the hurdles but making the strides. Feel the upbeat, you know the vibes. In order to grow up, I said my goodbyes. Peace to the pain, peace to the game. Peace to the life that would have me in chains. Peace to the weak, peace to the meek. Peace to the people breaking the peace. But then it's all love, props for the growth. Without all the peace, I can never let go. I had to see me in the worth that I own, so I can spread peace in the land unknown. Preach.
Yeah, man, that was MacnTaj, MacnTaj, with his song Cringe. You like that video? I like my man. He's got presence, man. Big up to Mac. Big up to Mac. And of course, Clutch Royal coming with those soul food sessions with that first episode. I thought that was a dope song. So big up those two brothers, man. Looking forward to hearing some more good music. So before we go into the next segment or what the topic is, and honestly, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Because I didn't get that far, to be honest with y'all. I was so focusing on this Gayle Snoop thing, I didn't know what my topic of discussion was going to be for the third segment. But I'm going to think up of some. So just check out news you need to know, and we'll be right back with another topic. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
New electric motorcycle will be upgraded to increase safety. Motorcycles trail miles behind cars when it comes to safety. Manufacturers have long neglected the two-wheel vehicle, but recently a new toy has hit the market with upgraded safety features to eliminate shortcomings in previous motorbike models. Kwang and Jay Gerard, the founders of Damon Motorcycles, have built Damon Hypersport, a 200-horsepower battery-powered motorbike. This motorcycle is equipped with the latest features of safety to change the stigma of the quote-unquote unsafe ideas associated with bikes. Kwang states that motorcycles hasn't changed in 100 years, so these two decided to integrate fresh ones regarding safety into their own motorbike product. Damon Hypersport is equipped with cameras to rear view sight, radars to scan for incoming vehicles, and artificial intelligence to interpret the data received from the perimeter scans. The vehicle is also equipped with automatic adjustments in its handlebars, windscreen, seat, and foot pads to adjust to the operator. Pricing starts at $25,000. You can go to the website to reserve your own today. Singer Kesha's legal battle corners artists into proving truth. Kesha has been in a legal battle for the past 5 years with her ex-producer, Dr. Luke. Many years ago, she claimed, quote, sexual, physical, verbal, and emotional, unquote, abuse. Recently, she dropped the complaint so she could concentrate on her music. In turn, Dr. Luke countersued for $50 million for defamation and breach of contract. That case was eventually dropped as well. In a hearing, New York Supreme Court Judge Jennifer G. Schechter favored Dr. Luke's side. The judge ruled that Kesha defamed Dr. Luke in a text message sent to Lady Gaga in 2016. This ruling puts Kesha on the hook for her claims and puts it on her lawyers the burden of proving Kesha's assault allegations. Unfortunately, this ruling will put celebrities on the hook for anything they say privately and publicly, including texts, DMs, and emails. Entertainment lawyer Jeremy S. Goldman says, quote, communications that you believe to be private are fair game in litigation. Things that a person would presume to be private can absolutely become discoverable. And people have a false sense of security around text messages, unquote. And that is the news you need to know. Okay, so we're back, y'all, with the third segment. It's not going to be totally too long because I was a little heavy at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to say, but I found something while I took a short break. So I want y'all to give some love to hip-hop around the world. I'm talking to one of my American cats. You got to start giving some love to hip-hop around the world coming back to America. I was just seeing, while I took a short break, I was just checking my messages, and I saw a short little clip with Drake at Murcii Projects. So he's doing, I guess he was, I don't know what song he was rapping to. He was shooting a video and he kept on turning around, He turned around the clip was probably like 30 seconds and this dude turned around like 30 times. And I'm like, I don't know what he's looking back for. He looked nervous, and he did look nervous to get Murcii Projects. And I was just over there driving through the other day and just recognizing how much that area changed. And it just made me think in the video, watching that video, give some love to Drake, man. Drake has been shutting it down for the last 10 years. I saw that piece with him, his interview on Rap Radar with Elliot. Man, I don't want to disrespect the brother from Rap Radar. And because you know how I be drawing blanks here. What's that brother's name? Elliot. From Elliot Wilson from Rap Radar doing interviews. And he be with his guy B Dot, I guess his name is. I forget the dude's his man's name. Well, I think it's B Dot. Let me see if it's B Dot. I guess his man's name that he does his podcast or does the show with his man B Dot. Yeah, his name is B Dot. So shout out to B Dot to Elliot Wilson doing that Drake interview on Rap Radar. And yeah, show love. I'm always critical of new artists that come out because I love the culture and I want to make sure that the culture is represented in the best way possible when it comes to music, when it comes to breakdancing, when it comes to, you know, spitting knowledge, rappers, everything. I mean, it should be represented as, look, it's not going to be pristine every time. It's not going to be represented the best way, but I always had that critical eye. But when people put it down, as long as Drake has been doing, you got to give him respect, especially in the birthplace of hip hop right in New York City. And we got to be able to open the doors to more international hip hop. There's a lot. Stormzy is like a prime dude and coming out of England. I would love to hear more of him on this side doing shows. I just don't see him. You don't bring Stormzy stateside. And I think he has something to say and we should be able to listen. And there's a lot of other UK rappers that should be heard as well, that I've met, female and male, that need to be heard. There was a South African rapper. He was up here once. I think he was on Hot 97. And he hangs out in South Africa. And I'm like, yo, why isn't this dude... I forgot this South African dude's name. Let me see if I can find him online and get his name. Young cat. Let me see if I can. Nasty C. Nasty C. Very nice. Nasty C. I love that dude. And also Sample the Great. Sample the Great. I got her album. Her album is fire. Fire. I don't know. She's coming actually to New York in Brooklyn, more specifically in March. And I think it's March or April, March or something like that. I forgot what show. I'm going to go to that show and show her love. We need to really show love to international hip hop and bring them stateside. We can hog it so much, and I understand why. And it's rooted in the genres that black people create in America and never get its just due. And at the same time, it gets stolen. Like blues, rock and roll, even hair punk rock I heard started with black artists. It's amazing. There's a lot of punk rock people that get behind it too. Well-known punk rock acts that say the same thing. Jazz, now it's hip hop. R&B. R&B hasn't really been taken, but there are creations from black folk, and hip hop now being the latest. Now you have Afrobeat, and it hasn't been made by black people in America, but now that it's being created by black people in general over in the continent in Africa, and it's spreading over here. But I want to see more international hip hop acts, people that love the culture. They need to come to New York more, and maybe I could play my hand in it. And getting Nasty C and Sampa the Great over here and doing a big show, because I know they're building a following, and a lot of people still don't know them, but they're growing, and we got to give them respect. And honestly, if you ask me, if rap artists are ever having a problem doing shows in America, you got to look at the continent, man. They got to look at Africa as a whole. And to tell you the truth, if you were to spread hip hop over in Africa, you would literally not have to do it any place else on this planet. If you did touring in Africa alone, 1 billion strong in Africa, man, listen, you wouldn't have to tour. You wouldn't have to do any tours in America or any other place, because Africa, the continent, is just so vast. from South Africa to Egypt to Morocco to Senegal to Ghana, and over there to Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Botswana. Like, come on, Zimbabwe. Really, you could shut it down alone. And I love that a lot of artists are going over there to connect with, because of course 2019 was the year of return. A lot of celebrities were going over there to make that symbolic return and build more connections with the continent. But we have to do it business-wise. And one thing we could do it in music is by bringing artists over to America and also kind of building that relationship over on the continent. And if you feel that certain cities don't have the infrastructure set up, hey man, this is a perfect opportunity. This is a perfect opportunity for you to start a business outside the music, in construction, in starting in telecommunications, and a variety of different industries that you feel a particular region in Africa does not have, and you could partner with someone in Africa to get things going. If you're as the hustler, businessman, or woman that you say you are. So we got to start opening up the doors for international acts to come here. And if you say, Nova, of course we do. We did. Okay, cool. But I want it on a large scale, where you're doing it in a 5,000 room arena. I don't know what it's called, Best Buy Theater now. I don't know if it's called that anymore. The names has changed so many times, it's crazy. Over there in Times Square. And we really got to start building bridges, man. Because sometimes people are harsh, man. Especially in the social media age, people can be harsh. When you see, what I saw, the comments down on IG with Drake rapping and doing this thing about Murcii projects, people are harsh, man. Maybe you should connect it with some New York cats and to show him some love and welcome him in, and he could be there in the Murcii projects and stuff like that. But stop ragging on this dude, man. Stop ragging and let's open the doors. And if they have opened the doors, please let me know, y'all. Let me know if the doors are open. But I'm like, where? I don't understand. Where are they at? You know what I mean? We go over there, but we don't like bringing them over here and bigging them up as they should, because they're forwarding the culture in other countries. So that's my thought on that. And let's see what we can do. Let's see what I can do in the coming years. So, all right, let me get out of here, guys. I appreciate you listening to me. I know people going to probably gaslight me when I put on a little piece on this Gayle Snoop thing and this whole thing with the questions. But, I'm here for it. If anybody, CBS, any major networks want to reach out to me on my opinion, feel free to reach out to me. I'll gladly come on the show and I'll say my piece. So yeah, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for all the artists that submitted their music. I appreciate it. I love the opportunity of working with you guys on the show, and hopefully in the future. Look out for Lyfeblood over at New York Tech Day at Jacob Javits. I will give you guys, keep you abreast of everything that's going on. I'm going to shoot some video. Shoot some video of myself while I'm there. And yeah, keep tuning in, man. Keep tuning in and listen to me. And if you have any comments, drop me a DM on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter. At Lyfeblood on Instagram, at Lyfeblood, or at GCOM_radio. And you can listen to me on any platform and yeah, say your piece to me, man. If you feel that I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. If you're bigging me up, if you think I'm right, say that I'm right. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks a lot. I will see you next week. I'm out.
Check it. You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community. We worldwide, baby. See you in the next go round. From right here to your town. We out.